What's up, everybody? Well, today I want to talk about life. And I actually want to talk about becoming proficient at life. And before I get into this, let me really just actually talk about what this means. So life has no boundaries. You're born into this world and you get pretty much raised and taught about how you're going to live life. The thing is, most people actually conceptualize life wrong. They don't see life correctly. They don't understand what life is. And as a result, they do not build their life accordingly. Because here's the thing, life has no boundaries. You can do and be whoever you want. As long as you're willing to put forth the work, as long as you're willing to be wrong, and as long as you're willing to do what is necessary to get where you want to go. Now, the problem is life does not come pre-built for you. And that's actually what causes most people to fail and have problems with. And most people actually get overwhelmed with life because it is so open, because there's as much open to you as is possible. And most people get overwhelmed with that because it is enormous. So here's a couple things about life and how to become proficient in life. Life boils down simply into 5 areas you need to focus on, okay? The 5 areas you need to focus on: relationships. First, your relationship, in my case, with Jesus, my relationship with him, my wife, my friends and family, and then my network relationships. I got to steward relationships. I got to steward my finances, which is that 5th area or the 2nd area out of the 5. I got to steward my finances. I got to look at them. I have to look at the money. I got to know what I'm doing. Second, I've got to understand health and look at my health physically and emotionally, and then spiritually, tying back into that relationship with Jesus. Fourth, what I've got to do as well is actually steward my work. What am I doing? How am I producing? How am I actually working? And not just work to bring money in, but my work and my calling in life and what I'm called to do, right? With where I'm at. So work, what I'm actually creating, producing. And then last is property and the things that have been given to me. All of this boils down to stewardship. These are the 5 areas where you have to steward your life in. These are the areas that you've got to look at. Now, here's the other thing about life. If you really want to become proficient in life, you got to have a plan. What are your dreams? What are your goals? What are you actually trying to accomplish, and what do you want to do? Well, you've actually got to actually have a plan in order to do that. You got to write down your goals, and then you've actually got to have a strategy. Okay, these are my goals. How am I going to do that? What do I need to do? What skills do I lack? What skills do I need to gain? What skills do I have? What assets do I have to be able to accomplish? Am I able to? What do I need to gain? And actually build out a plan with practicals. Now, here's the thing is most people don't think that they need to build life. They're like, cool, I'm going to follow the script that's written out for me. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to retire. Did you know somebody else built that? They built that whole system. Everything in this world is man-made. It is a man-made system that somebody else created and somebody else designed. You can design your life the way you want it to be. You can design your life with what you want to do and where you want to go. It takes thinking, it takes hard work, and it's going to take you probably facing a few fears about, oh my gosh, I feel overwhelmed. Okay, that's cool. Oftentimes overwhelmed comes from the feeling of needing to be perfect and not being able to have everything perfectly written out. You don't need to have everything perfectly written out. Messy works just fine. And what I mean by messy is it's not good enough to where you need to be to end up, but it's good enough for you to start, and it's good enough for you to take your first step. And it's good enough for you to be able to get going where you want to go today and probably tomorrow too. But if you have the humility to change and improve and learn and grow, well, guess what? You're going to do great because you're going to learn how you need to improve and how you need to overcome that messiness. And I think it's super important, especially where you're at, to no matter what age you are, to understand that if you're in your 30s, 40s, 20s, whatever, nobody taught you to think like this. I wasn't taught to think like this. I don't know who is taught to think like this, right? And I think it's super important to understand, like, nobody's really taught to think like this and to really actually see life like, oh, I get to design it how I want it to be. I get to plan it. Those are the 5 areas. I named them. I'll name them again: relationships, health, money, property, and work. Those are the 5 areas. And if you look at all of those and be like, oh, where do I need to be and where do I want to be? And you start putting together some dreams and then you put together a strategy, you're going to do okay. I think, though, this is important, especially if you're younger listening to this. This is important. And if you have children, it's important to teach your children. I'm going to teach my children this, right? I think it's so important to do that. I think it's so important to actually think about life this way, that it can be whatever I want to be. So anyways, guys, I'm way over. I'll catch you later. Peace.